Very good afternoon, students. In continuation with the chapter number 6, that is molecular basis of inheritance. In my previous videos, I have told you all about the various experiments that have been done to determine the biomolecular nature of the genetic material. That is the experiments done by the Griffith as well as the experiments done by Avery, MacLeod and McCarthy. Now today we are just going to proceed further that how it was determined that whether DNA is a genetic material or not, because up till Avery and MacLeod it was not confirmed that it is the genetic material, that it is the DNA, that it is the genetic material. But now we are just going to proceed up with experiments that are just going to determine that it is the DNA which act as the genetic material. So what happens over here, there are two scientists named as Hershey and Chase. Here both of them conducted a series of experiments to determine the biomolecular nature of genetic material, and they found that it is the DNA which acts as the genetic material. Clear? So for this purpose, for their own experiments, they had chosen bacteriophages, viruses that are bacteriophages. As we all know, what are bacteriophages? These are those viruses which get a hold on the bacterial cell as well as the the genetic machinery of the bacterial cell, and then they start replicating at a very fast rate, so that a number of the clones or their copies can be made at a very fast rate. So these are the bacteriophages. Clear? So in their experiment they selected some of the bacteriophage viruses, and what did they do? They cultured these bacteriophages in two separate colonies. In one of the colony they had prepared a culture medium containing radioactive phosphorus. Clear? And in another of the culture medium they set up a colony containing radioactive sulfur. Clear? And they had cultured the the viruses in these culture plates containing the radioactive phosphorus and radioactive sulfur separately. So when these viruses were cultured and they were tested out for their biomolecular contents, it was found that the viruses that were cultured with radioactive phosphorus has got the radioactive DNA. It contained the radioactive DNA because it is the DNA which contains phosphorus in its structural molecule. Clear? And when it was not the proteins were not radioactive. Proteins were not found to be radioactive since the proteins, they contain the sulfur and not the phosphorus. Clear? Similarly, in the culture medium containing radioactive phosphorus, the viruses that were cultured with the radioactive sulfur, they contain radioactive protein. Since it is the protein molecule which contain the phosphorus and they did not contain the radioactive DNA. Again the same reason, that DNA does not contain sulfur. Clear? Now these particular viruses, they were then made to infest the bacterial cells. Clear? After infesting or after attaching themselves to the bacterial cells and after getting hold of the machinery of the bacterial cells, after some time what was done, that the virus coat and the virus coat were separated, and the various biomolecules of the virus as well as the bacteria were separated. Clear? And then it was after studying them in detail, it was found that the those bacteriophages or those bacteria which were infested with what to say the viruses containing the radioactive phosphorus, they had got the radioactive DNA. Radioactive DNA, clear? And in the those viruses which were containing which were in those viruses which were made to attack those viruses which contain the radioactive sulfur, which were made to infest the bacterial cells, they did not contain the radioactive DNA. Hence it was proved that it is the DNA which act as the genetic material and not the proteins. Clear? So by this experiment of Hershey and Chase, it was very much made clear that it is the DNA which act as the genetic material and not the proteins. So till now we have studied that how we can say that DNA is a genetic material, or how it was explored that DNA is a genetic material. It was a past history that how we came to know that DNA is a genetic material and not the proteins. Clear? Now as we have studied up till here that DNA versus protein, that it is not the proteins but it is the DNA that act as a genetic material. Now we are going to move further ahead to study that it is what are the differences between DNA and RNA, or it is the DNA which act as the genetic material and not the RNA. Clear? So here we are going to talk about DNA versus RNA. Clear? As I have already told you all about the various differences, structural and functional differences between the DNA and the RNA in my very first video. Now we are today going to talk about DNA versus RNA. But first, when we are going to talk about DNA versus RNA, we are just going to talk about the prerequisites of the biomolecule which should act as a genetic material. So the very first prerequisite of the biomolecule which should act as a genetic material comes that the genetic material should be able to duplicate itself. Clear? Then second, the genetic material should be stable. Third, the genetic material should undergo slow changes, that is mutation, which forms the basis of evolution, which forms the basis of evolution. Then next, the genetic material should be able to express itself. Material should be able to express itself according to Mendelian inheritance. So as we are talking about here, these are the very prerequisites that are required by any of the biomolecule to act as the genetic material. So now we are just going to take each of the prerequisite and we are just going to compare the DNA and the RNA. Clear? So when we are talking about the very first prerequisite, that is the genetic material should be able to duplicate itself. So both the DNA and the RNA, both of them are capable of duplicating themselves. Therefore, both of them, they may act as the genetic material. Next, the genetic material should be stable. Clear? Here there are differences between the DNA and the RNA because DNA is very much more stable than the RNA. Why? Because DNA is double stranded and RNA it is single stranded. Clear? Since DNA is double stranded structure, therefore it produces blunt ends. Clear? DNA produces blunt ends, but RNA since it is single stranded structure, therefore it produces sticky ends. It produces sticky ends, which makes it much and more unstable structure. Sticky ends. Then third, that DNA, it contains thymine as one of the nitrogenous bases, whereas RNA doesn't contain the thymine. This thymine, it renders the DNA molecule to be much and more stable than RNA. Clear? Because thymine is absent in RNA. Instead of that, uracil is present. Instead of that, uracil is present. Okay? Therefore, again, it becomes much and more unstable structure. Then one more thing is there, that the single stranded structure of the RNA contains 2 OH group in each nucleotide residue. Therefore, it becomes much and more unstable, whereas this 2 OH group is not present, it is absent in the DNA molecule. So, from these differences between the DNA and the RNA again, structural differences between the DNA and the RNA again, we can say that DNA is much and more stable and hence it acts as the genetic material, and RNA being much and more unstable, it acts as a messenger molecule, or we can say that it acts as a catalytic molecule, adapter molecule, but it doesn't act as the genetic molecule in much and more living organisms. Then again, when we are talking about the DNA, the third point, that the genetic material should undergo slow changes which forms the basis of evolution. So here, as I have said you all, that RNA is much and more unstable than the DNA molecule. Therefore, it undergoes ready changes. Clear? It undergoes ready and fast changes. That is, it mutates itself. Therefore, it is not stable and hence it is not fit to be a genetic molecule. Clear? But DNA, it is a stable structure and it does not undergo mutations as very fast at a very fast rate as the RNA does, and hence it is a stable molecule and hence it becomes much and more stable than the RNA molecule. And then the last, that the genetic material should be able to express itself according to the Mendelian inheritance. Clear? That is here RNA, it is much and more able to express itself in the form of protein formation, because it is the RNA which is basically concerned, or which is basically directly responsible for protein formation and not the DNA. DNA has to depend upon RNA for protein production. It has to give its messages to the RNA, and then this RNA further conveys its messages in the form of protein formation. So DNA is not directly concerned up with the protein formation, that is, it cannot express itself directly. Clear? But RNA, it is since it is directly concerned with protein formation, and hence it is it is responsible for protein formation and it is able to express itself in the form of protein formation. So here, as you all can see, that we have studied that from Hershey and Chase experiment, that it is the DNA which act as the protein molecule and as the genetic molecule and not the proteins. So we have studied over there DNA versus protein, and in my next topic which I have completed here, that is DNA versus RNA, that what are the very prerequisites that are required for a biomolecule to act as a genetic material, and how DNA versus RNA. That is how DNA suppresses the RNA, or DNA challenges the RNA to become a genetic material. Now in my next video we are going to proceed further to the RNA world. That is, we are going to talk about various type of the RNAs and the central dogma. Till then, thank you.